Hello, I'm Sophie Blackall. I'm thrilled to be here with you as part of the National Book Festival. I'm the illustrator of Finding Winnie and of the Ivy and Bean series, and I'm the author and illustrator of Hello Lighthouse. I'm talking to you in my rather messy workroom in my little farmhouse in upstate New York, but I keep lots of exciting things on the shelves in case I ever need some random old doll clothes or some ancient sweets in pretty wrappers. You never know when you might need an ancient sweet to tide you over. When I'm not here in this messy workroom, I'm usually in my studio in Brooklyn, which I share with three other picture book makers, Doug Salati, Rowboat Watkins, and Brian Floker. Here they are, sitting 6 feet apart. I think you might know some of their books. Doug Salati has a lovely book called Lawrence in the Fall, and Rowboat Watkins has a book that just came out called Mabel, and another one called Most Marshmallows. And you might know Brian Floker's book Locomotive or his book Moonshot. This is my studio wall. There's a doll that I found on the street. My son made that sinking Titanic. I collect postcards of horses. That June hand is the way my studio mate Rowboat Watkins pays rent. He always draws me something. On the left, that was a lamb's tail that I found in Beatrix Potter's field. My son made that owl. 1970 was the year I was born. I never won a horse ribbon in my life. I'm excited to tell you about my new book, which is called If You Come to Earth. But first, I'm going to warm up with a little painting. For me, drawing is the thing I do when I'm trying to really look at something and see it clearly, when I want to notice what it is and how it works and why it exists. And painting is the thing I do when I'm trying to figure out how something feels. Drawing is slow and painstaking and filled with doubt and lots of sighing and lip biting. But I paint with my heart in my mouth because honestly, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. It's all about physics and chemistry, how the paint moves in water, and how long it takes to dry in the air, and how the pigment reacts with the paper. I use Chinese ink and watercolor paint. This is a stick of compressed ink, and this is a stone. I dip the stick in water and I grind it on the stone to make ink. I paint all my shadows in ink and then layer watercolor washes over the top. I use schminky watercolors because my father gave me a set of 24 pans when I was 15, and I painted at least 30 books with that set. And now that I'm a grown-up, I bought a big fancy set with 48 colors, but I stuck with schminky because I'm sentimental. You'll see that there's a white streak in the middle of the sky. Can you see that? I made a shape first with this stuff called masking fluid. When it dries, it protects that little bit of paper from the paint, and you can remove it and the paper will be white in that little blobby shape where I put the masking fluid. I'm going to speed up now because we'd be here all day otherwise. I'm painting a comet in the sky because that's the moment in my book when everything comes together, when we realize that you and I and everyone we know and everyone we've never met share this one planet, this one home. If You Come to Earth is a story about a kid writing a letter to a visitor from outer space, explaining the world. If you come to Earth, here's what you need to know. I wrote the first draft 7 years ago, and it's taken that long to make it a book. The idea for If You Come to Earth came to me on top of a Himalayan mountain in Bhutan. I'd climbed a zigzagging path to visit a tiny 2-room school with 10 students. We couldn't understand a word each other said, but the children drew pictures for me and shared their lunch, and I showed them some books. I've made books about friends and babies and bears and lighthouses, but what I wanted in that moment was a book that would bring us together, a book about their home and mine. When I was working with UNICEF, meeting children around the world, I promised I would try to make a book about all of us and the planet we share. There are still lots of things we don't know. We don't know where we were before we were born or where we go when we die. But right this minute, we are here together on this beautiful earth. And another thing I know is this: more than ever, we need books, especially books for children and books that connect us. If You Come to Earth is a book about a kid writing a letter to a visitor from outer space explaining the world. If you come to Earth, here's what you need to know: where our planet sits in the solar system, the fact that it's made of land and water, mountains and plains, cities and towns, that the people who live here come in all shapes and sizes, and that we love each other, that we get cold and hungry, that we're always learning, always busy, and that we are not alone, that we share the planet with creatures in the sea and animals on the land and birds in the sky, that we make music and art and mistakes, that we tell stories in many languages. Many years ago, I drew a poster for the New York City subway. I've been taking the subway for 20 years since I moved here from Australia, and I always look around at my fellow passengers and think how we each have our own different thoughts and experiences and stories to tell, but that right this minute we are all travelling in the same direction. Working on If You Come to Earth, I thought about the astronauts on the Apollo 8 mission sent to orbit the moon in 1968. Happening to turn around at the crucial moment, they saw the Earth rise above the lunar surface. 50 years after snapping what would become one of the most famous images in the history of the world, astronaut William Anders observed, "We set out to explore the moon and instead discovered the Earth." 22 years later, Voyager 1 captured an image 4 billion miles from Earth. Dubbed the pale blue dot, Carl Sagan wrote, "Look again at that dot. That's here, that's home, that's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam." This pandemic has affected everyone on the planet. It has given some of us the opportunity to slow down and look at our lives a bit more closely, and also given us the ability to see each other and the world we live in a little bit more clearly. Suddenly, we have the collective power to change things we thought we couldn't change. We have the collective responsibility to engage with things we thought didn't concern us. We human beings are compassionate and intelligent and full of ingenuity. When I think of ingenuity, especially American ingenuity, I think of you. I think of the kids across the country who are dreaming up ways to change the world. I think of the astronauts on Apollo 8 and the ones on Apollo 11 who were the first humans to step foot on the moon. And I think of the thousands of scientists and mathematicians and engineers and workers who helped them get there. I think of the kindergartners who showed me with absolute confidence what life on another planet might look like. And I think of the 23 kids at the Brooklyn New School who helped me with this book. Over 6 weeks, we talked about what made us human, what we love most about our planet, and the things we most need to fix. We have the chance to use our ingenuity to address inequality, confront our racism, protect the environment, and change the world for a better, fairer, safer, freer future. I had a lot of help to make this book. My friend Quinn was the inspiration for the narrator of If You Come to Earth. Quinn's brother was busy with a lizard when I was asking them if they thought that there was life on one of the gazillions of other worlds in the universe. But Quinn had no doubts and drew me 17 different planets and their inhabitants. When I asked what we should offer a visitor from Corruptity, one of the worlds, Quinn said without hesitation, mashed potatoes, because we're not sure if aliens have teeth. I had help from my friend Samaya, who comes from Kashmir, and who explained how women who wear faran pin the sleeves back so they can wrestle their toddlers into sweaters with free arms. My new friend Nate, a 4th grader in New Jersey who is blind, made up a secret message that the kids are reading in Braille. Hundreds of people on Instagram gave me ideas for colour names, and librarians across the country gave me inspiration and encouragement and research materials. I hope anyone reading If You Come to Earth might find something in the book just for them, and that alongside the small things they find familiar, that they will also be reminded that the world is wide and diverse and wonderful, and that it belongs to all of us. It's the only home we have, so we should take care of it and each other. I have loved spending this time with you. I hope we get to meet in person one day. I would love to sign your books and hear your stories and shake your hands. In the meantime, as a tangible connection from me to you, I am sending this painting to the bookstore Politics and Prose, and they are going to slip it inside a random copy of If You Come to Earth, and one of you will find it inside. In the meantime, I hope you all stay safe and healthy and make the most of every day here on Earth. Thank you. Goodbye.